The other part of the week, we'd like to encourage you to go out and about as much as possible, to get into a green space and to enjoy spending some time outside. And I think you've already seen and heard a lot of the research showing that this is something that really enhances our well-being. And so to help you do this, what we've done is given you some ideas to do when you go out on your walks. You don't have to go to a woodland if you don't live near a woodland, but even if you're living in inner city Liverpool, there are patches of green space nearby. There are local parks that you could go to, or if you could just go and sit in your garden, if that's where you feel the most comfortable, and you can do some of these activities there just to spend time outdoors. So we've got a number of themed walks that you could go on. And one of them will be to just sort of gather things together that mean something to you as you go on a walk. So I go for a dog walk every day with my dog, and it's quite helpful because I can pick all sorts of things up. I picked this stick up and actually managed to get it home without him stealing it off me and chewing it to bits. But one of the activities that we have put onto the information for you is something called a journey stick. And the journey stick means that you will pick up a stick at the beginning of your walk, and as you go along, pick up things that mean something to you on the walk, preferably things that are already on the ground and not attached to a growing plant, because we want to encourage people as much as possible not to pick flowers and plants that are growing. And when I was on one of my walks, I do say this was actually lying on the floor. One of the first things I found was this lovely little viola, but what you might notice if you look at carefully is it's not in one piece. It's got one of our friendly little snails on it. It's a baby snail and it's been chewing away, and that just to me signified that, you know, spring's starting, we're getting some lovely colours starting in the environment, and there's a lot of new life starting as well. So if you take some string with you, you can attach each of your little objects that you found onto your stick as you go along. Then as I went through on my walk, I also found, I went into an area with quite a lot of pine, and I found this lovely, again on the floor, this lovely twig which has got all of the pine needles and a few of the early growing pine cones, which just smell lovely, feel lovely, and just made me feel quite relaxed looking at them. And I would attach that to my journey stick as well. Then a little bit further along, I came to an area where somebody had built a fire. And for those of you who know me and know a bit about forest school and some of the activities that we do, one of the things that we do quite regularly is light fires, obviously in a safe way. And this just evoked for me all those memories of the lovely sessions that we've had where we've sat around a fire, we've toasted marshmallows, or we've cooked a meal together, and we've just sat and talked. And actually we've done a bit of that over lockdown with our friends when we've been able to get a fire pit going, and it kind of makes you, it kind of brings back those memories of feeling close to people, which what it signifies for me. And then finally, the final thing I found, and it's probably because I'm a little bit geeky like this, some of you might have the same interest. I'm really interested in lichens, and I think they're fascinating plants, and I love the shape, I love the colours, I love the textures of them. So I picked up this stick, and as you can see here, it's got that lovely pale green lichen on it. So I would attach that onto my stick as well, and I kind of put them in order so that it shows my journey through my walk. So that's one of the things we've put down for you as an activity on one of your themed walks. And if you feel like you'd rather not actually make the stick, why not just take a photograph of each of the items and put a timeline on them, and then upload them to Twitter or Instagram and put that hashtag LJMU grow together and a little description underneath of the walk and why you chose those particular objects as you went along. The other thing that we thinking about in terms of a walk is, and a themed walk, is a sensory walk. So you can go out and find as many different sounds, smells, sights and things, different feelings of textures that you can find when you're out on your walk. I would discourage you from finding things that you could taste, because obviously you have no idea what it is that you are tasting, so it's best to veer away from that. I don't want to encourage anybody to start tasting strange objects and strange growing things on their trips. But then post those up onto Twitter and Instagram and just give us some feedback about why those were meaningful for you on the way. And finally, a really good activity to do, and it helps an organisation called Wild Rumpus, who have spent time mapping sounds of the forest around the world. They have got a challenge now that's about urban forests, parklands and greenlands, and what they would like is for people to take their phones with them on their walk, which I know most of us do anyway, and to just record 1 minute of a sound bite of what they can, the forest sounds around them, or the woodland sounds, or anywhere where they're close to trees. It could just be one tree, you know, if that's all you can find, and then upload it to their site. And on that site it will give you instructions about what you need to do with that, to show them whereabouts you recorded the sounds, and from that they'll be able to map the urban green areas across Merseyside, and that's their latest project. It's really fascinating as well though to go onto the site, because you can actually find out sounds from across the world. So if you tap on Borneo, you can hear the sounds of orangutans making making sounds and communicating with each other in the forests of Borneo, or in Japan they've got the sounds that they have in their tropical forests there. So there's a wide range of different sounds that they've built in, and as you can hear, there's a lot of interesting sounds going on around me now.